Welcome back again. In recent times, I really spoke a lot about, in terms of mental health around understanding how the brain develops patterns, how those patterns then affect kind of how we feel about things and how we make decisions on how we feel, and then how that relates into how we interact with people. I've broken that down into a few different segments in my shorter videos. Today, I want to kind of illustrate it in terms of a working model of exactly what that can look like in terms of what you see in people's behavior and the effect that has then on other people while they're having those same interactions. So if you think about it, got a person, let's just call him Dave. It's not his real name, but anyway, so Dave, young guy, has things happen when he's a younger kid, becomes very angry as a teenager, a lot of aggression. His undercurrent and the way his experience has led him to a point where his undercurrent's very angry, he gets aggressive for little things, and people generally know him as a hothead. It's probably what you would see. He's a bit older now, probably in his 40s, and in a nutshell, he's got to the point where he's reached out to me to help him. And the reason he's done that is this is the experience that he had recently. He's got a partner, been together for a while, and in a nutshell, the most recent incident that they had, he's had a few little incidents along the way, but the most recent incident they had was she was sitting at a party. There was a guy sitting near her. I wasn't trying to hit on her or anything, just happened to be too close. He just says he lost it. So got very aggressive, punched things, punched people, kind of stuff, to the point where he ends up in the police. Has to have an intervention order against all this kind of stuff. So not a good end result. But anyway, he wants to change that around. He recognises that, overreacted, just lost it. So if you think about it, his undercurrent has got that aggression. So he just reacts to stuff, whatever triggers it. Once it's triggered, psychologically and there's a lot of stuff out there that explains it. Once you go into that red brain space where the anger is just overwhelming, you can't, your other part of the brain, the rational part that I keep talking about that you're trying to get to help you calm down and not proceed down that horrible space, is actually shut down. So in a much more difficult position to turn it off once the ball's rolling. So in a nutshell, with him, he had that experience, wants to know how he can change it. So for me, having explained to him how those patterns have worked in the past, so him, responding the same way every time when something gets him angry, is those neurons wiring and firing together. So his pattern's already in place. It's almost a faster way or a shortcut for his brain. So something tricks him, shortcut, goes there, goes to anger, and all the stuff that come with that. So what, trying to help him and explain to him how to use the same pattern that's got him to this point, but not in reverse, but in a better way, a much more proactive way. So we know he can't practice when it's starting to happen. So one of the things I wanted to do with him was say, understand how those, I said it yesterday about, when you learn something new, it's all new connections, new neurons wiring and firing together. It's a new experience. For a memory or an anger perspective, it's keeping the same ones firing and wiring together. So when you think about a memory, you can kind of play with it a little bit, and change it into something else. So that's kind of what I want him to do in this space. So I said to him, look, one of the things to do is really focus on that particular incident. When you're by yourself though, now you've taken a few variables out of the equation. The other person's not there, your partner's not there. It's just you and the memory of those thoughts. So think about it. Think about the things that's causing you issues so that you can slowly get your body and your brain used to, I don't have to respond in this way. So whether you use that exact same example, guy sit next to her or near her, your reaction was this. Now let's talk about it while you're calm. Use your blue brain to go, okay, if I'm in that situation again, this is what I'll do. So whether it's a tactical disengagement where you go, I'm going to step back, go for a 5-minute walk, talk to myself, have a routine. So getting good routines in place rather than him going, bang, head explosion. Okay, he's looking at it now rationally while he's thinking about it, analysing it, and that's how he's trying to put things in place to change it. If you want to put an analogy to it, it's like kind of, wanting to run a marathon, but wanting to train while you're in the race. You don't want to do that. You're going to get tired. You're not going to have the stamina. You haven't trained yourself to do it. So instead of just going in there and trying to do it as it's happening, trying to get people to calm you down while it's happening, not going to happen, because that part of the brain just doesn't work that way. So, that's why him practicing it, getting used to calming himself down, even thinking about those other events that have triggered it in the past, how he can change things differently, how he can have a blue brain response in those situations. It's going to be the key steps for him to turn that around. And instead of looking at that memory and going, this is where I go, he's now learning from that memory and he's creating more neural pathways. So all those things help him break that pattern so that at least shifts what his brain's doing should he be in that similar situation again. Hope you got something out of that. Cheers.